Welcome back to the Know and Follow podcast. This conversation is one that I am really excited to share with you. It is a conversation with Bethany Kramer and her husband, Drew Kramer, talking about their website, A Simple Palate. And this is a recipe blog that has become a YouTube channel. And we talk about that journey and how they have kept themselves centered on Christ in the midst of it. It really was a wonderful conversation, and I'm so glad they made time for it. So without further ado, here we go. Drew and Bethany, thank you guys so much for swinging by. So for people that just meeting you guys, tell us a little bit about who are Bethany and Drew Kramer, and what is A Simple Palate, the business you guys now run together. I don't know who should go first, but probably Bethany. You wanna...
It doesn't really
Bethany,
matter.
you can take this one.
All right, yeah.
Well, we're Drew and Bethany. Wait, what was the question?
Like, who are you?
Who are we?
Yeah, like, what service do you guys attend for GCC people? And then,
okay.
And then, what is Simple Palate?
So we attend the 9:15 service, and we've been going to the church for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And we run a food blog and YouTube channel that's called A Simple Palate. I've had that for almost 12 years.
Yeah, almost 12 years.
And and then we have a YouTube channel that we started about 2 years ago.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And Drew, you're kind of new to working kind of in it, right? And,
yeah.
I mean, well, you've been working in it for...
Yeah, when we started the blog 11, 12-ish years ago, I was kind of helping behind the scenes with some of the website stuff, some of the brainstorming of starting that. And then up to this point, I've been only working part-time, also working full-time as a web designer, web developer. And then this past November, I actually went full-time. So now we work full-time together on A Simple Palate, which we'll probably get into a little bit later, but we had been talking about that for a while when we first started it.
A pipe dream in a way.
Yeah, but we just never knew if it was going to be possible or not.
Yeah.
And we're grateful that it is now, and it's super cool to be able to work together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Were you guys married when you guys started it? I actually don't know the answer to that.
Yes, yeah, that's what kind of initiated it. Was we got married and I had my own kitchen for the first time, and it just was like, oh, I forgot that I really love to cook. So that's when it started, was like right after we got married.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the journey into it. So, like, you come from a New Jersey Italian family, as far as I could tell.
Well, we're actually not Italian.
Oh, okay.
My mom was taught by Italian relatives how to cook.
Oh, okay,
so
cool,
we cook.
cool,
But yeah,
cool.
New Jersey, New York, that's like Italian. So many of my Irish relatives cook Italian food. It's just like what you cook there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up, my family is Irish Catholic mainly, and it's similar. Yeah, so talk about kind of that journey. So you grew up in North Jersey, and cooking was just a big part of it?
So I was born in North Jersey. I'm the youngest of four. So once I was born, my parents were like, we want to get out of here. So they moved to Pennsylvania, quieter life. And but they raised me with the food that, it was not Pennsylvania Dutch food. And thank God. I'm sorry. Taking shots.
Very different. Very different.
It's very different. Yeah. Not too much salt or garlic. But I grew up with like that type of cooking, and it was, my mom just was always cooking homemade meals, and that just really inspires everything that I do now, is just cooking from scratch. And
yeah, and so Drew, we talked a little bit about this, but like between the web design, and what is kind of your role behind the scenes? So I know you mainly worked in websites. Did you? What was that kind of journey for you?
Yeah, so I've been designing for about 10 or 11 years, and that's not what I went to school for. I went to school for teaching, so I taught in high school, tech ed, for 1 year. And realized that that's not where the Lord was calling me. After I had to deal with all the disobedient kids in high school, I was like, oh gosh, this is tough. Love the teaching aspect. I really enjoy that. It's hard to be in a classroom environment. I have massive appreciation for teachers. Anyways,
you also taught out near DC, so it was a different environment.
I taught in Maryland. But I knew that I always wanted to do something creative, and I think the reason I wanted to do tech ed is because it had that like graphic communications, visual element. I enjoyed all those classes in high school. I took as many as I could, really. So stepping away from that, I took a sort of a job that was like tech support But during that time, I really learned a lot about web design and kind of dove into that a little bit more. And then when that was the year that we got married. So when she's had this idea of starting a blog and kind of connecting that with food, that was actually a great starting point to help her with her website, try to build that. Our first website was on Squarespace. And it just kind of went from there. And we've been sort of meshing our abilities together ever since that point. So I take a much more behind the scenes role. I'm also that very awkward taste tester on video.
Right. Pulls you in.
Yeah, but and I'm enjoying the food very, very much. But I don't know. I just enjoy the behind the scenes creative stuff, directing, trying different things. And so right now that's camera or the actual filming part, editing. She's actually great at video editing as well. And now that I'm full-time, I'm taking more of that on. But yeah, just kind of whatever is needed creatively is diving into that, trying different things.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know you were self-taught on the kind of coding piece. That's cool.
Yeah, so that was, I really just started looking at websites, inspecting the code, and just watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now I think with AI, things have changed a little bit there. But
I think that's the cool thing is we're both entirely self-taught.
Yeah.
And it just shows that you can really do anything you want today. It's like YouTube is just, it's amazing. And that's where we've learned a lot of what we've learned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that is really cool with YouTube specifically because it's like what you guys are doing. So many people in the YouTube world get stopped by who are you guys paying to edit? And it's like if you're paying an editor, it's going to be so long before it's something that can be any type of income for you. You know what I mean? And like the choice to say, I'm just going to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? Is really like a big piece of it, I think.
Definitely.
I don't know. It seems to me a commonality between people who manage to make the YouTube thing a thing is the ability to like do as much in-house until you absolutely can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
Totally. Editing is absolutely a slog. Like it just takes a lot of time. We tried working with an editor last year for a little bit. It was difficult on the communication side.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality side.
And the quality. It's very hard to translate all of your creative vision onto somebody else.
Right.
And so inevitably you just sort of fall back and you're like, oh gosh, maybe this is just faster if I do it. But we do know at some point we'll probably need to work with an editor. It's just like that whole process is going to take a little time.
Yeah. So Bethany, you've been blogging for over 10 years. We talked a little bit about like kind of why you started it, but talk about kind of the nudge from, I'm sure a lot of people listening have felt like, oh, I should start filming TikToks. I should start, whatever that is. What was kind of were there several false starts or was there kind of okay, let's go. And then you're kind of rolling down the mountain
For YouTube or the start?
For the blog. Yeah.
For the blog?
Yeah. The initial
start. Yeah. Sorry. The question was, what were the initial?
What pushed you to finally set up a homepage, it's like, cause I think some people would feel like, man, I feel like I should do that. But what if my friends think it's how dare she, whatever, you know what I mean? I think, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking to myself. Like, it's like, what do you say to somebody who's saying, man, I've been thinking about it for years. I just need to start. What separates you from kind of those people, you would say?
Well, to be honest, that was so long ago that it wasn't so scary. I would say that I can speak more towards starting the YouTube channel.
Yeah, because that's fairly recent.
To me, that was more of a leap of faith, and that was more of me stepping out in a very uncomfortable way. Yeah. When starting the blog, it was a little scary, but I was just sharing recipes.
Right.
And I think that it inspired some people. I remember sharing like, oh, maybe I can start a blog too. But I actually think that when I started the YouTube channel, that to me was like probably one of the biggest tests of stepping out of my comfort zone. God calling me to, I just felt compelled in my heart that God was calling me to something more. And I was terrified to step into that. And I think that now that I'm in it, I can only kind of speak to that because I feel like that's more of a real situation. Was when we started the channel, I didn't want to do it. I never wanted to be in front of the camera. And once I did step out, I realized what a tremendous blessing that God had for me on the other side. That it was like, had I not done that and had I not been obedient to God, the amount of blessing, not even just like in whatever it was of Drew joining me full time, and it was the blessing of meeting so many people, the blessing of just this like incredible community that God had waiting for me. And I was so lonely before that. My job was very isolating. I was just doing the website. I was just on my own. And then starting the channel, it was like, oh my gosh, had I not stepped out and faced my fear, I was truly facing my fear, stepping out, being on camera. That was so uncomfortable. And I was fearful of what my friends, my family would think. I'm like, I'm about to humiliate myself. So I felt that way more starting the YouTube channel than the actual website. And it just was like, wow, stepping out and realizing like, I just had no idea what was on the other side. And I'm so grateful that I did it.
Yeah, so the fear was just, it felt like a new thing, and it felt like stepping out into kind of new territory, right?
It was terrifying. I was not wanting to be in the spotlight. I did not want to be on camera. I didn't want a lot of those things, and it was just God. I had just gone through a lot of health issues, a lot of time in a very like isolating period, and just kind of the Lord really changing me and working in my heart very much spiritually. And it was just kind of like, okay, it's time for you to step out now. And so, yeah, it was like the terrifying thought of like, okay, I'm putting myself out there on YouTube. I have a blog. So it's like, I don't know. It just, in a way, it was like, okay, people are going to see this that follow your blog. And it's like, if you, I don't know. I was just terrified that it was like, I'm going to humiliate myself, because we didn't know if I was even going to be good on camera. It was just like, okay, let's try it. Go out there, break a leg.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that jumping off, what was that? I mean, and maybe you both could answer this. Like you just decide, hit record, go. Yeah. What was that kind of like? How did that feel? You talk about kind of the blessing on the other side. What's been kind of the other side as you guys have launched that?
Well, he was the one that pushed me. I didn't want to do it. So you just for months and months. And we were hearing in the online world that AI was coming and we had to prepare. And so it was like, you either continue in your comfortability and it's probably going to deteriorate the support, the income, all of that. Or you can take a leap of faith, do something incredibly uncomfortable, and it could actually place you in a totally different, place with your career. So yeah, you pushed me to do that. And then now being on the other side, it's just this like incredible joy, this amazing privilege of not only making recipes for people, probably just seems like, oh, you just make recipes online. I make it such a point to connect with the people that I am talking to. I did not expect that part. That was the most unexpected part of this entire thing was the people. I just was making recipes, and then by the like 4th or 5th video, I was like, there's people commenting on every single video every week that I post. And now we've been on the YouTube channel for 2 years now. I've had many people comment on every single video and have been there with me from day one. And so, and I make it a point to like respond. A lot of people are like, oh, YouTubers never respond. And I just have made it such a point to connect with people. And God has really used that in a way, because I'm like, well, what's my purpose in it all? I don't want it to just be for our glory, for like, I don't want that. But God has really used just the simple things of just praying for the people that comment, praying for their salvation. I communicate with so many of them through email or whatever it may be. And I'm just like, okay, I want to use this for God's glory to advance his kingdom somehow, of just praying for them, praying for their salvation. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like more than just posting recipes at this point.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see how many people have been brought into that path as a result of this, that before, when it was just the blog, we were not really getting that many comments on posts. I mean, we were, but it wasn't as much. And
it was very transactional.
YouTube is literally now a community. There's so many people engaged, so many consistent people from the very beginning, and people that we've it's been beyond just comments on YouTube. People that we're actually writing to and keeping up with, like even in the UK.
I had a person. I won't say much about them, but they literally reached out to me when their family reached out to me when this person was in the hospital, and they are a faithful viewer of my channel. Their whole family knows who I am. They're in the UK, and they were like, "We just want you to know that our father's in the emergency room. He wanted you to know." And it was like, what? And now we've had another thing where his family has let me know something with him.
Yep.
And so we've been writing him and sending
trying
letters.
to stay in touch.
He sends letters back. So it's like beyond, we've had people talk about us on a podcast and communicate with them. I've had, packages sent to me from viewers and gifts. And it's just like genuinely heartwarming and touching to see not just like this quote unquote, you know how people online are just like, oh, I have a community. It's like, it genuinely feels that way.
100%.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So with that being so valuable and your faith being such a big part of it, I would imagine there's a little bit of a struggle of, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, maybe this isn't, so much of it is numbers. So much of it is number go up, right? Like up and to the right. And to a certain extent, money good, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like,
Totally.
like no, but, and I'm sure like a lot of entrepreneurs feel this is like, how have you guys balanced, this is what's valuable, this is also valuable, but we're not going to create an idol out of this other thing. We're going to serve the Lord in this context that he's given us.
Yeah, no, that's been huge because when we started this, I'm sorry that I'm talking so much,
but you start.
When we started this channel, we were going through very real things. There was like so much happening in our lives. My blog was not doing well because of updates with AI.
Yeah, can we describe, I think, because Drew said it and I didn't want to slow us down.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how bad AI is for click-through rate blogs. Is that explainable in a quick way? I don't.
All right, so the CTR and the
I think I
PPC.
speak. I speak in like a dumb way because I don't understand it. But basically, when you do a Google search, we as food bloggers or whoever, we want to show up on page 1, if not the top of page 1.
So your eggplant parm recipe,
my eggplant
was ranked
parm,
first or second?
It was ranked first. And that was you knew that. That was a huge source of our income because it brought in a lot of page views.
Yep.
And how the income works, ads are served to the viewer.
On our site.
Yeah, and the advertisers, through a very complex manner, pay to put those ads on.
Yes.
But they don't pay you, they pay an ad server.
Yep.
Yep.
And before YouTube, this was before YouTube, we were relying really on those big keywords of the, eggplant parmesan. Google did an update. And it now, when you search things, they'll do an overview and they can basically take from my website, steal from my website on ChatGPT. That's when ChatGPT came out. So all those things were basically stealing our information on how to make those recipes to provide for, people an easier way to get it rather than going to my website. So we were negatively affected in that way. Our traffic began to really go down, and it made me incredibly fearful of the future for my career. I was actually, when we started the YouTube channel, I was the closest I'd ever been to completely quitting. I was like, I could sell my blog, I could just quit and let it go and just see what happens, but I won't do anything else to it. Yeah. So that was a very real thing for us.
You're making 25 to 50 cents per page view, basically. Is that? I mean, that number might be annoyingly high. I don't. But like, you don't have to say exact
know the
numbers,
number. Yeah,
it's in the. I just want people to not think it's like $1 per person. It's like a small number. It's small numbers multiplied by extremely large numbers that ends up becoming a normal amount of some sort. Yeah.
So when we started the channel, it was a very real thing of like, we're going through this very real situation. So when we started, my focus was on how do we grow to get to a place that we're okay. Mm-hmm. So that was the focus. But when I started to meet people, my intentions and my heart, God just totally changed. It was like, I actually don't even care anymore. Mm-hmm. But God started to provide. He was opening doors, and it just was this incredible moment in our lives that we will never forget, because there's a lot that we won't even talk about publicly that we were going through. but we just committed everything to the Lord. And he was so faithful. It was so real and tangible to see that we just were like, Lord, we commit everything to you. We trust you no matter what. I can quit. I can let all this go. And it was an act of complete surrender of whatever you want. We just give this to you and we trust that you will provide for our needs. That's it. There's this Proverbs, I think it's in like Proverbs 30, where it's like, let me not be rich that I may forget you, and let me not be too poor that I do something basically illegal to get, food. But it's like, let me just have enough that's needful for me. And we were praying that in that time of just whatever is needful and enough right now. That's more than enough for us. And God just truly made a way for so many doors to open. But it's been very real for us. That's why every morning you were talking about like the idolizing and making sure that it's not about the numbers and money. That has been our heart's intention. So every morning, Drew and I spend time in the Word separately, in prayer. And I go outside, you stay inside. And that time is incredibly important because we bring our requests, we bring our things that we're dealing with. And that can be pride and dealing with, whatever it may be of seeking praise from people and all of that. We just bring it to the Lord and just say, Lord, please make my heart right. And that's been incredibly important for us, is that time with the Lord. We call it breakfast with Jesus. And we're not even eating. It's the word that we're digesting. But it's that time that's been incredibly important for us because it just corrects those worldly desires that can be very easy.
And Drew, you
Absolutely.
want to add to that? Or?
Yeah. I love that. That's been our center point for sure. Whether we're celebrating, we're just so grateful for what's going on, or we're hitting our knees and just asking God, what's going on? What's going to happen with all of this? That critical juncture right there with starting the channel, that was super heavy. And to be honest, we didn't know what was going to happen. We did strategically look at some other bloggers of what was going on in the landscape, and we did see that some people who had stepped out into YouTube or had YouTube channels, their traffic on their site was actually going up while everyone else was going down.
Interesting.
Yeah, we did see that.
And at the time, we used a tool to actually look at some of the different traffic trends of different sites. But that was one thing where we're like, what is going on here? And I think we got a sense that content online was no longer just going to be like, you could write a post, Google could crawl it, and then it could rank really high. That you almost had to step out and be a little bit more of a brand and more of somebody, I don't know, just kind of this like more authentic presence in a sense, less of just hiding behind the scenes, writing things, more of you actually have this authority. And that's why Google shifted so much, because they now rank you on all of these different factors of like your expertise and authority and all this stuff. We don't need to go into all of that. But like, that was one of the big whys, along with some of the things that we were, trying to figure out there and going through and seeking the Lord on. But that was actually a huge why we just tried to step out with video, to do the scary thing, which is to actually show your face and to connect and have, I don't know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think the last thing I'll say on that is, let me just collect my thoughts for a second here. The getting started with video, while I had a little bit of experience with video in the past, honestly, it was just, let's give it a try. Let's just go for it. The first video, we look back and we're like embarrassed by it. It was awkward. It was,
and yet it's almost at 1 million views.
And it's still our most popular video.
No.
And every time people are like, "Oh, I saw your meatball video," or like, "Oh gosh," like cringing on the inside. But it's incredible what God did. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. The production quality was not very good. We were trying out a lot of things, yet it did connect with people.
Right.
because it's, I think, at 1 million views or almost 1 million views compared to some other videos. And it's just, that's funny how God works. Like I just laugh every time I think about that. But I would say encouragement to anyone else who's starting something is that you always have to start, and it's
Yep.
always going to be bad to start. And it should be bad,
Yep.
or at least like very inferior to what you're doing now, because it shows progress. It shows, you're actually learning and applying 1% every time to
Yeah.
try to do something better. We didn't know. Yeah. If you were going to be like connecting on camera, because that's really hard. Every time I get in front of a camera, I just shut down. Like I can't operate normally somehow, but you do such a great job. And that was incredible. So I think we tried to model the video off of some of the other things that we were seeing on YouTube, but we knew that it was going to be really valuable that Bethany was going to talk on camera and to actually connect with people, because other people have done videos where they'll do like a voiceover over top of like them cooking, or like the hands and showing what they're making, but like it's not actually them talking.
Mm-hmm.
That is 10 times more challenging than doing a voiceover. So we chose the hard route,
Mm-hmm.
But
I like what you said about
Yeah.
that was one of our things, was every video when we did it, it was 1% improvements.
Yep.
Like how can we improve 1% each time? Because we knew, we were watching on YouTube how to start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And they said, your first video is going to be your worst. And I'm
Right.
like, why the heck did ours have to be our most popular video?
Right.
Like,
You'd like it to be like buried.
just stay at 300 views, please.
I know.
Like, you know.
Just delete it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just like get it out there.
I want to delete it, but I
Just,
can't.
Yeah, like darn it. Yeah. So have there been kind of like, with the cooking specifically, do you feel like kind of the counterculturalness of like slow down food like that, do you think that's led to some of your connection with people? Or would you say it's more like people seeing your home, seeing, you know what I mean? Like where has, maybe you don't know, but where has been kind of the connection, this deep connection? I needed you to know my dad was in the hospital. Like, where do you feel like that comes from?
Well, I can only base that off of what people say. And I think that a lot of people say that they appreciate how down to earth I am, how approachable I am. I think just the fact I'm just a normal person.
Right.
And I'm there to talk to. I'm going to answer you. I see your comment. I respond intentionally because that's what I would want.
Right.
When I respond or like when I comment intentionally on a channel, which I rarely do because no one responds, I would care so much if someone responded back. And I think that's probably where that relationship is from. It's just that trust that's built of like, people just comment. They're like, I love that you respond to everyone. And
Yep.
I think they just feel that they can connect with me. And that's probably where it comes from, is just a natural, intentional friendship and relationship. So yeah, but I also think just, it could just be cooking from scratch. A lot of people are kind of going back to that. I also share a little bit about my gardening. I'm like an old lady, so I just like to cook, I like to garden, and read on my back porch. And
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
I think you do an amazing job of just presenting yourself in a real way, and that's what I think people are starving for. Like, I don't even know how to just distill that down into, I think that's just it. That's the simple core of it, because people have commented how calm you are, how approachable in a sense. And I think,
which is hilarious because I'm like, have you met my family?
Yeah. And
not calm.
how I think in the current landscape, there's lots of different types of video content, but there's more and more this very quick attention grabbing stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we've chosen to actually go in the opposite direction of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's like the Mr. Beast formula versus a more kind of slow communicative.
Right. And it doesn't mean that we hope that
There's
you don't
nothing wrong.
watch the videos and get super bored. Like there's lots of empty space and all this stuff. But I think that that's where we're really trying to lean into that, like late 90s, early 2000s Food Network vibe.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
like that's really when we come back to it, it's like, does it fit that? That's what we're really kind
Yeah.
of shooting for.
Because that's what I was like, I want to watch that. I
Right.
want to go
Yeah.
back to what it used to be and not this, like, let me show you how to do this weird thing with it. It's like, why can't we just do it? And we have no attention span. That's the biggest thing that Drew and I have, why we do long form. Because, we do all long form videos, not short form, because people have no attention span anymore. I don't want to encourage that. I don't want to watch short content anymore. So I want to encourage people to go back to the old days of watching a cooking show, enjoying it, being inspired by it, and not just, one thing to the next and you don't remember what you even watched.
It's also really frustrating for cooking specifically because whenever I'm following like a recipe on Shorts, I'm like going,
I know.
Pause.
yeah,
Play.
what did he do? And, I
Right.
end up watching the video 75 times,
Right.
because I just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Probably by design. Yeah. So no, it's that's really interesting and really good. And you're right about like cooking shows. Like I love watching like Gordon Ramsay videos where he'll like explain like why he loves steak. Like he'll just go on like he like you feel his love for food
Yeah.
in
That's
kind
right.
of like this. Yeah.
While getting a little bit of whiplash while he's like,
My favorite thing with Gordon Ramsay specifically is he'll be like, and this ingredient, you look it up and it's like $75 for a quarter ounce of it. And you're like, buddy, nobody has that. Like,
How to make this at home.
right, like it's just like what is like just get this from this type of grocery store. It's like I don't live in New York City. I live in
Right.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
I watched a video recently from this channel called Nick's Kitchen, and he was like, how to make a chocolate bar at home or something.
Just don't.
And it's like he breaks apart the cacao pods and like processes them and makes this whole thing. And he's a chef, I guess, by trade, but it's just like the mismatch of like at home. It's like, okay, I kind of appreciation you're making a chocolate bar, but every single comment was like, bro, I'm not making this at home.
Right,
and it was like such a disconnect, you know what I mean?
let me go out to my cacao tree
Yeah,
Right,
out in
like,
the back.
Let me go grab some cacao
Yeah,
from
right.
our greenhouse on property. So as you guys have, kind of moved into working together, is there any kind of trick you've had for like one challenge I've heard for like couples who work at home together? It can be like, what do you talk about at the end of the day? Because it's like, what did you do today while I was here? How have you guys kind of navigated that as a couple? Maybe hasn't been an issue, or
I think one of the things that we noticed right away was needing to separate. So like Drew kind of going for the day or like being up in his office. He worked from home with his last job. So I was used to that. But I think like you are always tinkering on different things. So it's you will work on the video and then like tinker on other things. But I don't know. I feel like we're always talking about, I don't know, just like I feel like one of the biggest things was, like I said, just you going out for the day, maybe going up to your office or going out to a cafe to work, and then us like coming back together. Oh, I'm excited to see you, and
That's
rather
right,
than being around each other all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just creating intentional moments where, your head's down on stuff, and then you come back together. It is such a blessing that we get to work together.
Yeah, we
and
love
that
it.
we're, every day I wake up, I'm just so thankful.
Yeah.
That this is even a possibility, and so.
I know, we still can't believe it. We're like, oh my gosh, we're doing this still.
Yeah. But I think it's trying to find those intentional moments of here's when we need to combine and work on things. And then here's where we need to separate and work on stuff separately. I enjoy working from coffee shops, going out on occasion and doing that. But we still do interact a lot. And I think at the end of the day, like, maybe there's days where we don't have a whole lot to talk about at the end of the day, but that's very rare.
I feel like we always do.
That's very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we're not talking about,
we're not really talking about work.
I think like when you're doing this, you have to be intentional about separating from work a bit because everything can kind of blend together. You have that flexibility.
Well, I think especially in your world, it can just become the whole thing. Like you guys could probably work 7 to 12 a.m. You know what I mean? Like 7 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Yep.
On some level of the channel.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it would reward you. Like, you know what I mean? But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's true. That's true. But I've already been there. I've already been in that like workaholic stage. And I'm just like, I can't do that anymore. It's now trying to make sure that we have that, like, really we work from, you know, whatever it is, 10 to 5 or whatever. And then after that, it's like no work.
Every day's different in that way. Like I don't think we have a fixed schedule for ourselves. We just kind of decide, here's what we're going to chunk out for today. And even if we don't get it all done, we just sort of...
We're not lax, but we're not, but we're disciplined. But we're also, like we're not like we, you know, there's just, we have rules, and then I don't know. It's just like, no, I'm thinking about, like, I've always had the rule, like people think, oh, I'll work from home. I'll just watch a show. We don't turn the TV on until after 7 p.m. Like, we're not those type of people that's like, oh, let's watch a show while we work. It's like, we're disciplined. We spend our time in the morning with the Lord. We go work out, eat a good breakfast, and then, it's just, then we have, you know, our schedule. We're not like lackadaisy with that, but we're also not like, we got to do this, we got to do that. It's totally having discipline without the...
So Drew doesn't have a TikTok where he talks about his 7 a.m. cold plunge. Here's
my daily routine.
Here's my daily routine.
Maybe
I get
maybe
up at 3. I go to Nebraska.
Oh my God. Why? I drink green tea at a specific temperature. No, none of that. But one other thing I would say about that is, one of the main reasons why I ended up working full time, or we ended up working full time together, is we reached a point where doing stuff part time after work and
on the weekend,
like on the weekends, that was burning us out in a big way. And so we realized, like, either we have to start hiring people to sort of fill some of those roles, or we prayed continuously about,
for like a year,
me possibly leaving my full-time job, which is a strong sense of security, of provision, to do this. And the Lord, you know, was basically saying, hey, you know, we can do this.
It was more God than us. I mean, when we were deciding to go, like, you go full time with us. I was just telling people, I'm like, it is not us. I am not even saying we do this.
That's right.
God was just like, this is what I have for you. And so
and He confirmed that. So it was a lot of trusting along the way that He would continue to provide, which He has. So we're grateful for that.
So talk to somebody who's maybe is saying, man, I've always wanted to create or like share something with the world, like business, ministry, like platform, but they're like hesitant or scared. You've already said kind of just go. Like, is there anything you would maybe like add to that?
I would just say do it. You know, I remember fall of 2023, I guess it was. I think we started in 2024, the channel, and I wasn't doing the YouTube yet. And I just was cooking, and I was like, I just feel like I'm like ready to tell people how to cook. And I just was so like, this just calling in my heart was just there so evidently. And it just was like, you just have to do it. You have to do it scared. You have to do it fearful, but you're not alone. You have the Lord. And if God is calling you to that, He will make a way. And it doesn't mean that, you know, things won't always be perfect, and we have plenty of haters and plenty of mean comments that actually happened right when we started the channel, like the worst comments ever. And it made me want to quit. But it would truly felt very spiritual. It was like, no, I'm going to push through this. I'm going to do this. I know God's calling me to this. And I think you just have to really not rely on what man says, but go with what the Lord is calling you to do. And sometimes it's against everything that you want to do, but it's so worth it in the end, because His plans and His will are so much better than we could even imagine. And He works all things together for the good of those who love Him and who are called according to His purpose. So it's like, if that's your purpose and His will, then He's going to make a way, but you just have to do it. That's the thing, is like the biggest thing with the YouTube stuff. It was like, people were just saying on YouTube to start a channel, they're like, just press play. Just do it.
Hey, you just have to start.
Anything to add to that? Or just
I would say prepare to be patient, prepare to ask the Lord for perseverance. When we first started the blog, there was no income from the blog for about 4 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you were doing it part-time for the most part. But even if it's something you're passionate about, you know that people are looking for, there may be a season of that where it's not exactly what you're imagining.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to be patient through that, continue to keep learning, keep persisting. So, and like we said with the YouTube channel, you just have to start and realize that it's gonna get better from there. It's not gonna be polished.
I think it's neat how God can use skills from a failure in a future thing.
Yeah.
I think I've told you guys
Yep.
both this. Like the reason why I know how to use OBS, which is a broadcasting software, and the reason why I know about video and some video editing stuff is because before we had kids, I really pursued streaming video games. Ultimately, I was kind of bad at it. Like, from like a personality perspective, whatever, I wasn't able to like hold people in a stream. But then when Pastor Mike came to me in 2018 and was like, how hard would it be to live stream our services? I was like, not hard at all. And I think like sometimes like it's worth going after it just to like, even if you fall down, you know what I mean? Because like life is long.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it might circle back. But
Yes.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. You just have to be diligent with that. And
Yep.
it's true. It's okay if there is failure in it and that there's, I always kind of tell people, because I've coached some people that have started blogging and it's not been the same journey as mine. And I'm like, God will still use everything that you've invested into this for something else. It's like he uses everything if you just commit everything that you're doing to him.
Amen.
It does work out with whatever his plan is.
Yeah,
Amen.
and doubling down on, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
You're good.
Doubling down on your insecurity piece as you get out on video, it is like, I always joke with people, like, you will eventually hate your voice. You will eventually hate some aspect. Like I always,
Exactly.
I'm on the announcements every week and it's like, man, that forehead is just huge. And it's just like, it is funny.
I know.
I think people think like, oh, people who record videos get over that. I never have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never, and I don't know if I will. And it's not like I need people to comfort me, but maybe it's helpful to say like, that is part of it.
It is. It is. Yeah, no,
Yep.
that's a huge part. I remember doing some videos and I'm like, oh, I look so bad or this and that. And it's
Yep.
just like, and I've listened to other people. They're like, I hate the way I look in that video and I just cannot watch myself. But the problem is I've had to edit everything up to this point. Before he joined me, I was editing for like a year and a half. So I had to watch it constantly. So I got used to seeing myself because it's hours and hours and hours of editing. But now I'm not really in the editing process until the end. And so the videos are a little bit harder to watch. I'm like, but yeah, it's hard. You're critical of yourself and it's tough, but you just kind of have to push past it.
Yeah, just hit the press record and just go.
You just got to do
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, accept it.
I think some aspects get better over time. Some don't. And you just have to, deal with that.
Yeah, you almost have to treat it like a job. Like you just have to say like, we're doing it at this time and I'm not going to not do it.
Yep.
And
Yeah. That's
Totally.
the biggest thing with our first video is like, I just hate how I look. I hate everything. And like, not hate, I know that's a strong word, but I just can't stand how there's so much in that video that doesn't look good. And I'm like, oh, that's the one that a lot of people watch.
When we're editing tastings that I'm in, I walk out of the room.
Right.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Well, hey, any last thoughts? Anything you feel like we didn't get to? Kind of, how people can pray for you, even stuff like that. Sorry, putting you on the spot with that one.
No, yeah. How can people pray for us?
I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that people can pray that we continue to keep our strongest why focused on God, giving him glory, because that's why we're doing what we're doing ultimately, and finding opportunities to shine that light through what we're doing. I would say we're not overtly like trying to portray that we're Christians all the time, but we try to find little ways that we can plant seeds and just connect with people in a real way. And I just pray that whoever comes in contact with what we're doing can see that, and that he would give us perseverance, because the online landscape is crazy, it's volatile, there's something new every day. We don't really know what's going to happen there, but we're just, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I think my encouragement for myself and for people watching is like, whatever you do, as the Bible says, whatever you do, whatever your hands find themselves doing, do it all for the glory of God. And I think that's, difficult when the focus is on me with YouTube, or, it might feel like, how do I do that with my job? It's just whatever you do, just give God glory in that and pray for the salvation of souls around you. This life is
That's right.
One of my favorite quotes. One life will soon be past, but only what's done for Christ will last.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Amen.
C.T. Studd. And that's something that we live on. And so it's like, whatever I do, whatever we do in this life, do it all for the glory of God. 'Cause
Amen.
that's all that will last.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
really good. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Know and Follow podcast. This podcast is a production of Grace Community Church of Willow Street, located at 212 Peach Bottom Road in Willow Street, Pennsylvania. If you're looking for a place to worship, we'd love to have you join us. Our services are Saturdays at 6 p.m., Sundays at 8, 9:15, and 11 a.m. This podcast is hosted, produced, and edited by Pastor Addison Roberts, the digital pastor of Grace Community Church. You can learn more about our church at gccws.net. Our theme music is Only the Brave Run Wild by Sounds Like Sander. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.